Happy Life Results book group.
Welcome back, everyone.
We're in the hero stage and we're on a section called Analogy Learning Language, and it's in stage 3, the hero, in the very beginning. So we're going to start with, we're going to read it to you. So you want to start, Dave?
Sure. The process we use to learn language, provides a terrific reference pattern for how you will begin integrating new ideas as the hero. This is how it looks when learning a new language. 1. Familiarization, learning what a new word sounds like, looks like, in order to understand its pronunciation, possibly while looking at its spelling. Can repeat it shortly after hearing it, but may not remember spelling or proper pronunciation after a short passage of time. Forms a very temporary association and representation of the word in the mind.
2. Recognition. Upon hearing or seeing a new word, we'll know what it means, but the association with the concept and the word is not clear enough to produce it without a prompt.
3. Active production. With some thought and can communicate the desired concept using the new word from memory.
All right, so let's tie this to any kind of language learning experience that you've had. If you've had the opportunity to learn a foreign language, this will make instant sense to you. You will remember when you were at the familiarization stage, when you're at the recognition stage, and then at the active production stage. Do you want to just tell them a little bit about what that would look like with language learning, foreign language?
So let's say we're learning how to say hello in Thai today, and someone says the way to say hello is sawadee-kap for guys and sawadee-ka for girls. So if you've probably been in a class where you say, okay, repeat after me, and the teacher says it, and then you repeat back. So right after you hear it, it kind of makes sense, and it's kind of still echoing in your head. It's brand new, but you get now you're familiar with it. At least you've heard it once. But then you might not recognize it in, you're just at the very beginning layer. And then if someone came up and said it to you, if you're still only at the beginning layer, you wouldn't recognize that as hello. You only recognize it when someone's explaining to you to make you familiar with it at the moment, okay? So then recognition, someone came up and says sawadee-kap to you, you would recognize, oh, that's the Thai word for hello, I remember that. But if someone came up to you and you wanted to say hello, you're not ready to just say it out in Thai right when you see them, okay? So then active production, even if it takes you a minute, you're like, oh, what was that word for how to say hello in Thai? Oh yeah, I remember sawadee-kap, and then you remember it. So those are the 3 kind of layers. It's how well is it integrated? How comfortable are you with the concept? Can you actually produce it yourself? Or are you just recognizing it when someone else does it?
Which stage would be when you say saparot versus saparot? That's pineapple in Thai.
Yeah, so then when we're trying to translate it, sometimes we put it into our own, what's more close to what we do already. And so we take a foreign concept and we kind of tweak it to make it more
familiar?
More like our language. So we're not really imitating the foreign language. We're transforming it into a new hybrid of our language plus that language. So in drawing, that would be where I'm drawing someone's face without looking at their face. So it's kind of a representation of their face, but it doesn't really look like them.
Like the eye color might be the same, the hair color, but no one would be able to look at the painting, the picture.
Yeah, it has eyes and nose and a mouth and things, but it doesn't, they wouldn't say, oh, I know her.
Yeah.
Okay,
I like that.
Yeah, but then, so you can do all of the phases and get to native fluency in a hybrid version of something. But then if you really want to master it, then you want to kind of record yourself and listen to yourself and say, does that sound like the natives when they say it? Does this really, then you take your drawing and you put it next to a picture and you say, does that really look like this person? And then you say, how is it different? How is it the same?
I know a good example of that, and that is when we lived in Thailand and he talked to people on the phone. They thought he was Thai. And then when we'd show up for a tour or something, they would be looking around for the Thai guy until they heard him speak and then realized he is the Thai guy.
Another funny example during that time was we had some American friends that hired someone to draw their family, and they left a picture with him. And then it took several months for them to get the finished drawing, and they got it in the mail, and they opened it up and go, oh, it's not us, they drew someone else. And they go, how did that happen? How did they mix it up? And then the daughter was saying, wait, those look like our clothes. And then they realized it was them with a hybrid. They looked like Asian Americans. And so it was them, but the person drawing it kind of put Asian features on them and emphasized it. And it's a hybrid, it's, you know.
Oh, that's a really good example. Yeah.
And in many cases, you know, fusion is a new piece of art, it's a new way of experiencing something. The only time that might not be a good idea is if you're missing elements that, like if you went to draw the face and you just kind of forgot to put eyes on it or something. Like an essential element. If you miss out an essential element, it's not going to work the same. You put the car all the way together, but you forget to put wheels on it or something like that, or forget to put you do everything to drive it except you don't turn the key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So an essential element. So with learning the concepts, that's why I really like what we talked about yesterday. Is it familiar? I mean, is it something that is natural and effortless, or is it something you could see yourself changing in order to embrace, or something that is just theoretical? You understand it theoretically. So to use those three kind of as a guide for each concept, and we'll actually be giving you quite a few more tools to. A lot more tools. This whole section is tools.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And talking about, you know, getting familiar with the foreign word, when you're looking for contrast and similarity, that's one way you help internalize it. And we definitely did that in the guide stage. What's similar, what's different, and you want to, every chance you get, kind of take the artist eye and really look and say, am I really seeing it how it is, or am I just thinking I know what it is without really looking at it?
Yeah, that's why I love to ask so many questions. And that's why I like to ask questions about things that may seem obvious. So like someone could look at my questions. So I've been doing this every day, posting my questions. And someone could look at the questions and think, these questions are so obvious. She's asking what obvious words mean. But the reason why I do it is because I actually pretend I don't know what the word means. And then I ask, what does this word mean? And I try as much as possible to be open to all of the new layers of context in Happy Life Results and say, if I apply Happy Life Results to this word, how could it become a new word for me?
If you're familiar with any of the YouTube channels, there's a YouTube channel called Vsauce. There's Michael on Vsauce, and I just saw recently a video he did of which way is down? What is down? That sounds like one of those obvious questions.
Yeah.
Down is this way. And then he goes into this really elaborate, and it's actually mind-bending what down really means. So that's,
okay.
if you want to.
We should link it in the playground.
Yeah, we'll link to the play. We have a playground on the Facebook group. We post, and we can also link it in the description on the YouTube.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay.
Yep. All right, so we'll see you guys tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.